Good evening and welcome to Daily Politics and Trust TV, your trusted hub for sharp analysis and deep dives into the nation's political pulse. I am Shafi'u Suleiman. Tonight, we bring you a sweeping view of Nigeria's shifting political terrain as the race towards 2027 begins to take shape across party lines. In the opposition camp, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has defied mounting internal tensions and heavy police presence to hold its landmark 10th National Executive Committee NEC meeting in Abuja. The meeting ratified the decision of its National Working Committee to reinstate Senator Samuel Anyanwu as National Secretary, a position recognized by both the Supreme Court and the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. On the opposition unity front, former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has signaled readiness to serve only a single four-year term if elected president in 2027. A major move seen as strengthening the emerging coalition's bid to unseat the APC. Obi made this known during an X-Space session, stressing character over ambition. With the indications that coalition leaders may soon unveil a new political platform to drive their 2027 vision, tonight we dig deeper into the undercurrents reshaping Nigeria's political future. Joining me are the National Coordinator of the Obedient Movement, Dr. Yunusa Tanko, Convener of the League of Northern Democrats, NLD, Dr. Umar Ado, and PDP Chieftain Umar Sani, who will break down the outcomes of the party's NEC meeting. Gentlemen, thank you for coming. But first, we start with Dr. Umar Ado, Convener of the League of Northern Democrats. Thank you for joining the conversation tonight.
Thank you very much.
Right. Okay, let's deep dive, straight into the conversation now. Opposition coalition has been gaining momentum in recent time. There has been a lot of expectation as to, where it will eventually end with all the challenges that characterize, the beginning and, of course, the fusion, so to speak, of major players in the polity. You happen to be one of the critical stakeholders, a prominent member of this coalition talks. Keep us up to speed with what is currently at stake.
Okay, thank you very much. The coalition actually has gained momentum, and one of the key events that gave it this momentum was the filing of ADA to be registered as a political party with the Independent National Electoral Commission. Within 72 hours or so since the filing, about 8.9 million Nigerians followed the events and committed and commented positively towards it, which is more than the number of the votes that elected President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. However, the main critical coalition leaders, from all indication, seem to have made up their minds to collapse under the ADC. Now, the agreement that was reached is that let the coalition pursue the two-pronged approaches. That is, to the two-pronged approach, that's to
seeking a new party,
while at the same time, moving into another one.
Right.
So I belong to
the proponents of a new party.
Another party. Right. Yes.
Okay.
So we will stand by that. When we see them expectedly to fuse into ADC, we will also intensify our effort to register the ADA, because we are confident that we will get that registration.
So what does this mean now? There is a fragmentation within the coalition movement, because if you said you're going to go on with the political registration of the ADA in spite of the observed challenges, because even INEC seems to be pointing at some of the challenges that you may likely face. Another ADA was said to have been was said to have applied for registration earlier. So we have two ADAs. Now, reconciling that could be a challenge.
No, there is no challenge there. You see, this game is first come, first serve. And besides, the some of the assumptions that our people make on INEC especially, they are unjustified. One of the central reasons that most of the coalition leadership are saying the reason why they will not want to go that route for registering a political party is because the INEC leadership has been compromised and therefore cannot register any party. But on what basis are they making this assumption? It is certainly not on the facts, not on the data, because the current INEC leadership registered the largest number of political parties in the country in the belief that it will decentralize participation, get so many to participate, and then expand and enlarge our democratic process. Yeah. Unfortunately, many of them were just briefcase political parties, who could just only fulfill the legal requirements, but there is another requirement other than the legal, which is the political. Yeah. Not only would you fulfill the legal requirements to register as a political party, but you should at least demonstrate to INEC, demonstrate to the Nigerian people, and demonstrate to the world that your association, the membership of your association is such that it is capable of registering a party and then winning national election. Right. And that is what we are going to do, that is what we are aiming to do, and that is what we believe we are going to achieve. Yeah. And if we achieve this, then we have no fear whatsoever that INEC will register the ADA.
It is obvious that you're not happy with the decision to collapse, into the ADC while, you are pursuing the ADA registration. But there are also concerns beyond, just the alleged compromise or whatever. There is this concern around timing. The time is not on the side of the coalition movement to be able to register a new political party, going by the hiccups, the initial hiccups we are already seeing.
What hiccups and what time are you talking about? If it is the time that is, the legal time frame, we are very much within the legal time frame. In 2013, by this time in 2013, that is about 2 months after Jonathan's second year in office, APC was not registered. APC was registered on the 31st of July. So now if INEC comes out, opens its portal, will fulfill all the requirements, and within a period of 90 days, I believe the political party will be registered.
Well, many believe that the INEC of 2014 perhaps is not the INEC of 2023 or 2025. There are, shifts in the dynamics of the leadership and all of that, and that is the reason why, the coalition movement is worried that instead of, being caught napping, it is rather, important for them to fuse into an existing party. But let me get your views. Why are you against, collapsing into the ADC, for instance? Many believe it's a political party that has an integrity, that has less, frictions, that has been, a very credible alternative that could be used. Why are you not in tune with the proponents of that?
Yeah. Well, for two reasons. One, the fear of external manipulation. One of the reasons why the opponents of not going to register a political party is that the regime will be such that it will influence INEC. Now, if you say you fuse into a political party, you have actually opened your flanks wider than going to register a political party to external influence, external manipulation, and even external mischief. No, instead of you to deal with the law, which is in registering a political party, instead of you to deal with the law, ensure that you fulfill all the requirements of the law in the eyes of the public. You would rather, have a transactional politics in which you deal with several people, because it's like my house. they own the PDP, the ADC. So there are owners of the ADC. There are executives that have been elected, in December 2022, and many of them in many states are saying that they will not leave until their term ended. It ends in 2026, December 2026, right. By which time primaries had already been concluded. So if this is going to be a big source of problem that could later resolve into litigations, and only one litigation, only one judgment from only one court will upturn the apple cart. So you don't need that. Right. But besides also, strategically, you are going to leave so many people outside, because all those, or most of those that are going to join the ADC are going to be candidates and their supporters. And independent people who are not happy with the situation will have no place to go into a party that is already dominated by candidates and their supporters. So you are leaving a large number of opposition outside, and at this critical stage, we don't need to leave one person in the opposition outside. So in other words, I understand you are concerned about the booby traps, that could, undermine the efforts, to have this very strong alternative. But again, some are also worried that the whole gang up, against the ruling party, just like you said, is transactional. People are just doing it for their own personal interest and so on. People who have been disgruntled from other political parties are looking for a shelter. Even President Bola Tinubu said recently that these are displaced people in the opposition that are trying to regroup and looking for a shelter or so. So does this, your statement seems to corroborate what the president is saying. Is that correct? Because even Nigerians are worried that the opposition forces may not even bring anything new to the table. And that is the fear. That is one of the critical reasons why you should not fuse into a political party that is already existing. Why? Because a political party is supposed to have an ideology that guides it, encapsulated in its manifesto, and then operated by the constitution it will enact for itself. You are going into an existing house. So it means that either you like the concept of the house, or you have no concept of your own. You will stay in any house so long as that house gives you a roof over against rain and sunshine. Right. That is not what we are thinking. We are thinking to create a Nigerian renaissance. We should look beyond President Tinubu, because most of the discussions are saying that let's get, like you people in the media, anti-Tinubu coalition, anti-Tinubu coalition. I said,
but
no.
That is the posture.
No, it is the media that Christian it that. But actually,
but
from some
of this coalition are talking about sending him back to Lagos and all of that.
No, it is a collateral damage that could happen. You cannot change a regime without, getting him defeated. But we should go beyond that. We should look beyond bringing, President removing Tinubu, because that is what we did previously. We have to remove Jonathan. Let us just get Jonathan out. And we removed Jonathan, we brought something worse than Jonathan. Now, Buhari must go and go. Buhari has gone, and then Tinubu has come. And then when we said we must remove Tinubu, just remove Tinubu for the sake of removing Tinubu, and then you bring somebody or a system that is even worse or continues with that. That is not what Nigerians need. Right. Nigerians need new things, a renaissance, to create a system that will work for them, that decentralizes power, decentralizes opportunities, decentralizes economy, and so on, and fight poverty, reduce poverty from this. In fact, for us in the North, we have gone beyond poverty. We are a people, we are destitute. All of us, most of us are destitute. Right. Is it what we want? How can we? And for me, personally, the political class that brought this thing is purely the PDP and the APC.
Which you happen to be part of.
I have been in PDP, I have been worked in PDP government, but I have always fought against these things.
Okay.
I have at one time resigned from the presidential villa. So you, even though I was PDP, there are a lot of things that I did not accept.
Okay, as we wrap up things now, let me get your because it seems you'll be operating on different parallels now, operating on the other side while the coalition forces are also...
No, we are all part of the coalition. The coalition agreed that let us pursue these two, simultaneously.
Okay.
It really doesn't make much, sense to me, but since that is the decision, then let us pursue. While others move into ADC, we will pursue the registration of ADA. And we are a lot and plenty that hold this position, and we will get it done by God's will.
Okay, thank you very much. On this optimistic note, we have to allow you to go because we have other conversations ahead. Thank you very much, Dr. Umar Ado, a convener, League of Northern Democrats, for talking to us.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
All right. So viewers, we'll take a short break, and when we return, the other part of the conversation will now commence. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly.